Heads up, kids. Edwin's looking for $1 million. So, at the end of the year, I always love to have a party. And when I mean party, I mean reading. Because what else? What would a party be without reading? Reading is the only way of enjoying life. Okay, that had absolutely nothing to do with what I was saying. I was supposed to say at the end of the school year, this year, I stole a bunch of trifolds from people. And everybody was wondering what I was going to use them for. And I said business. Well, here's a better explanation. So, do you see how this is cardboard? Very nice cardboard. This cardboard costs me nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then this stuff, like this little whiteboard tape thing that you put over the cardboard, cost me $10 for like this big roll. And the big roll covers that thing, and it covers this thing. So the point of me stealing trifolds at the end of the year from people's school projects was so that I could put this whiteboard tape over their trifold, and I could save myself a bunch of money. Because if you were to buy a whiteboard that was this big online, just like a regular whiteboard, it probably cost something like $30. To buy that thing costs probably like $100. And yeah, I got both of those for $15. So that is the way of doing business. You always try to save as much money as possible. I think of myself as a businessman for the next year. Probably not a very successful one, but that's okay. Okay. First order of business today, right now it's 10:20. We're gonna start with one full work session on Yidi.com. Let's go. It's beautiful, isn't it? Do you see the gradient of light? The way it spreads like a sun from that one beautiful spot, that one pinprick into a whole aura. Do you see the way the perfection of these rectangles just moving across? The way that it's also a gradient, the way the light spreads from yes to no. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. I don't know what that was, but let's get to the actual content. Actually, so I would consider myself an actually okay guy of making up BS on the spot. And what I mean by that is that I can find random metaphors in anything. So let's go ahead and use that idea of the glowing pinprick of light from spreading to an aura to the little rectangles of perfection, which is ugly because it's too perfect. Anything that's too perfect is very ugly, in my opinion anyway. So, okay, let's make some stuff up. Alright. So, when it comes to life, there are two mysterious forces that interact with each other and tangle into a beautiful mess of work. And what are these two things? They're flow and transition. Homeostasis and transiostasis. One is always pushing forward, driving to keep going, not to stop, just in the moment, keep going. Flow. It's the merging of intrinsic motivation and creativity. It's beautiful. It's beauty incarnate. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so I read a book called Making Work Visible, or I listened to an audiobook on that today. It was pretty cool, and I borrowed some of those ideas. So that's the first one. That is the first force. And the second force, that's the one that's always thinking, should I be doing this? Should I be doing something else? Where am I supposed to be going? This is a big picture guy. This is a guy that doesn't really get much done, but knows what's important and what's not. These two forces are always pushing against each other, and people who can balance both, those are the most successful people on the planet. Because if you're always looking at the big picture, you become too scared to do anything real. But if you're always so confident in going on to one path, you're not sure if that one path is leading to where you're supposed to go. So you have to have both the insight to look ahead and also the drive to keep going forward. Homeostasis and transiostasis. The force that keeps going and the force that makes you look up and transition. Should I be doing this? I'm really good at the driving thing. I'm absolutely terrible at the real world transition thing, looking above. And the problem is I can't unite them. So this is the thing that drives you into addiction. And this is the thing that people, that like philosophers use. But you need both to get something really, really big done. And I don't know how to do that. I can't do that yet. I've been working on it for quite a long time now. So I guess the real reason is the real point of this entire video was just another excuse for not doing the hour per minute thing, because for some reason I just can't force myself to do it. Like I start doing something and I just completely forget about the video. I'll figure out how to master my transitostasis. I promise.